All right, guessing we'll get started now. We've got to cover today, so unfortunately we have to get to begin soon. Well, thank you everyone for joining us in today's webinar. Today's webinar will be recorded and it will be available on both our websites, the FileCatalyst as well as the Woody website, as soon as the webinar is done. On today's webinar, we're focusing on a partner, Woody Technologies, and we'll see how FileCatalyst has been integrated into the different platforms within Woody, and as well as we'll get a chance to see what products Woody offers and what the benefit is in the media and broadcast space. My name is Elton Carneiro, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Cloud Services here at FileCatalyst. And with me today, all the way from Zurich, beautiful sunny Zurich, unlike the cold weather we have here in Ottawa, is Aurélien. Aurélien?
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Cool. Yeah, so we've quite a bit to cover today, and we have an exciting demo at midway through the presentation that will show you the FileCatalyst integration within Woody. There will be time for a Q&A after the webinar. On the GoToWebinar, there's a questions panel, so you can put in your questions there. We'll get to them during the Q&A session. So for those of you guys joining us for the first time, a bit about FileCatalyst as a company. We create file transfer technologies and solutions that allow you to move your files securely, efficiently and reliably over global networks. We use a patented UDP algorithm. We've been around for about over 18 years, and our entire focus has always been around file transfer and being able to move files across different networks and trying to maximize those networks that you have. With the adoption of cloud, FileCatalyst has built-in support for a number of object storage platforms. In this case, you can archive to various object storages, public as well as private. On the public side, we support the Amazon S3, Azure Blob, as well as we support various local object storage platforms that can be run on premise. And this comes in handy when you're simulating S3 traffic and you don't want to pay for ingest and outgest going to the public clouds. We have a lot of tools that allow you to manage your file transfers, web-based tools, desktop tools that make it easy for you to see what's going on in your network. For the partners as well as companies that wish to embed our technology within their existing platforms and existing portals, we have a number of APIs that you can use to really build in file transfer into those platforms. Our technology is very easy to use. You can get up and running within minutes, and it really provides you a simple way to move files across your network. In the media and broadcast space, we've won a couple of Emmys for our work around movement of media assets and files across different networks. You can read more about this on our websites. We have a number of blogs and articles around this. So FileCatalyst is very much a horizontal application. It can work across various verticals. Media and broadcast is one of our large verticals, but we also support oil and gas, energy, healthcare, corporate IT, and gaming industries, and so on. And here are some of our proud customers who use FileCatalyst to date. At this point, I'll hand it over to Aurélien. Aurélien, welcome. Tell us about Woody Technologies.
Thank you, Elton, and thank you for hosting the event and for giving us a chance to highlight on the partnership. A word about Woody Technologies. Woody Technologies is a French-based company belonging to Ashkida Taldea Group. Ashkida Taldea is one of the main players in France in providing services to broadcasters and post-producers, including technical support, project management, training, and so on. Woody Technologies was founded with the idea to provide software solutions to broadcasters to streamline post-production workflows. That's why we have been focusing until now mainly on ingest and outgest workflows. And in general, we take care of all around PAM, MAM, NLE connectivity and interoperability. For years now, we have built a powerful transcoding engine. It's one of our main tools, and also a workflow engine. Both are the basis of all Woody software and all Woody solutions. Of course, we make strong integrations with vendor partners, especially MAM and PAM vendors. And we do a lot of customization on our own products, and also complete tailor-made solutions for our customers. We are very user-oriented. Our colleagues at HK they are spending time every day with journalists, with technicians, editors, and we try to really identify and the needs and to fit them. And we provide solutions that are easy to deploy, easy to use, and easy to maintain. You can almost forget it once it's deployed. And maybe you can go to the next slide, Elton. Thank you. So the product line of Woody Technologies combining owned product, third-party product, and custom developments. The owned product are 6 now. We have Woody Intuit, Woody Ingest, and Woody Social that are the ingest products. Woody Intuit dedicated to journalists and editors for manual ingest tasks, Woody Ingest for automated workflows, and Woody Social for ingest from social networks. We have Woody Outgest and Woody Check-in, which are products dedicated to Avid customers to streamline workflows around Avid environments. And we have Code Reporter, a legacy product of us, to transfer content from the field to the main facility. We also have third-party products, especially one developed with our partner Automated. ShareIt is a tool to integrate Adobe graphics tools, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, with various PAM and MAM systems, and offer a nice experience to graphic artists to exchange content with editors. And finally, we have all the custom developments and integrations we make. There are a lot of different cases, including graphic solutions, transcoding control, MAM and RCS connectivity tools, web portals for review and approval workflows. A lot of different stuff can be made. Of course, we work with partners. Technology partners is something really important to us. We, of course, work with camera vendors, also PAM, MAM vendors, but also all the players of the industry who provide interesting solutions for our customers. We have especially a strong partnerships with Avid. I mention it because the demo after will be in the context of an Avid environment. And we are a member of the Avid Alliance Partner Program since last IBC. Some of our customers are here. We are now present in 15 countries. We have our headquarters are in Paris, and of course we have a very good customer base in France. But we also have an office in Los Angeles for the US and South America for 1 year now, and we also have an office in Zurich, Switzerland. Maybe Elton, you can take over.
Yeah, thanks, Aurélien. Thanks for the great introduction to Woody. Yeah, on that note, talking about Avid, FileCatalyst is as well an Avid Alliance partner. So combined, you'll see this webinar talking about how FileCatalyst, Woody, and Avid can work together within your Avid workflows, amongst other different workflows that you may have. So at this point, let's talk about some of the transfer tools that you may or may not be aware of. So there are a number of different transfer tools out there. We have existing public file transfer tools, FTP, and then we have FileCatalyst. My nice icons at the top of each of this box will sort of give you a hint as to where I'm going with this in terms of speed. If you look at the underlying transfer technology and what makes FileCatalyst fast, we'll start looking at the biggest thing that makes file transfer slow when it comes to TCP-based file transfer. Latency is the round-trip time it takes for a packet to be sent from the source to the destination and acknowledgement to be received that a packet has been received. A lot of TCP-based file transfer tools, including FTP, is a very serial process. You have a number of packets that are sent, acknowledgements are received once those packets have been received at the destination side, and then more packets are sent. That's okay if there's no latency or virtually no latency on your link, but what happens when you have a lot of latency on the link, it can take a long time for these acknowledgements to come back. With FileCatalyst, we do things a bit differently. We'll load up multiple blocks of data. So blocks of data can be defined within the software in terms of how big you want the block to be, and we'll send multiple of these blocks at the same time, ensuring we're saturating that link. Unlike FTP, opposed to acknowledging every single packet that's being received, it causes a lot of chatter on the FTP protocol. With FileCatalyst, we implement what's called the negative acknowledgement. So we'll only acknowledge what's missing versus acknowledging every packet. So how does latency affect speed? So if you look at this graph, we talk about FileCatalyst and FTP. This is 100 megabits per second. You'll see that as you start increasing in latency, the red line, which is FTP, drops down, whereas with FileCatalyst, we'll maintain 400 megabits per second. So apart from speed, we've built in a number of features into the protocol. We can transfer files at full link speed. As I mentioned, it's a UDP protocol with a proprietary retransmission and congestion control. It's built in-house, and again, it's a patented algorithm. We can transfer files up to 10 gigabits per second with encryption on any commodity hardware. This means that you don't need any special chipsets. You can, as long as you buy, the hardware from a computer store that supports 10 gigabits per second, we can guarantee to maximize that, the hardware. We're not affected by latency, so regardless of how far the two endpoints are, we'll ensure that we're transferring files at full line speed. When it comes to file transfer, there are a lot of other features that are necessary in securing and protecting that that movement of data. So we have encryption that can be built in. We have compression as well if you want to reduce the amount of data being pushed across the wire. But all of this takes up CPU cycles, and with FileCatalyst, we leverage a multi-core CPU architecture, which means that even if you do use encryption or compression, it's not compromising your speed. We'll still guarantee you full line speed. Congestion control, in terms of what is congestion? So congestion happens when you're trying to oversaturate your link. This means that you're trying to push more data than the link can handle. So how does FileCatalyst fare when it comes to congestion control? We immediately detect the destination receive rate. So that's one thing that's built into the protocol. So as soon as the transfer starts, we'll try and see what the maximum speed on the link is, and we'll start transferring files at that speed. As applications come on, as applications start consuming some of that bandwidth, FileCatalyst will detect it and slow down. As soon as those applications are done, whether it's streaming a video on YouTube, whether it's performing in-house transfers, etc., FileCatalyst will pick back up and reclaim the unused bandwidth. For most deployments, anywhere from 1 megabit to 1 gigabit per second, there's no tuning required in addition to what comes out of the box with FileCatalyst. So how fast is FileCatalyst? I have a simple sort of a graph here, image, I guess, that talks about FTP and FileCatalyst, as well as the different latencies that exist between the two locations. So we have two scenarios, a 1 gigabit connection and a 10 gigabit connection. A transfer from Amsterdam to London on a 1 gigabit connection, the RTT, so the latency is around 50 milliseconds. We're transferring a 10 gigabyte file here. You'll see with FTP takes about an hour and 28 minutes, whereas with FileCatalyst, we can transfer the entire file in 1 minute and 23 seconds. The same file, just a longer distance to travel, so New York to Buenos Aires, so the RTT is about 150 milliseconds. FTP will take about 3 hours and 6 minutes, whereas FileCatalyst takes about 1 minute and 23 seconds. LA to Mumbai, further distance to go, 10 gigabyte file. FTP takes 3 hours and 22 minutes, whereas FileCatalyst takes 1 minute and 23 seconds. So as you can see, regardless of how far the endpoints are, FileCatalyst maintains the same time in terms of transferring that 10 gigabyte file. A much more interesting case, if you have this bandwidth, 10 gigabits per second, a 10 gigabyte file from LA to New York, you're looking at 70 milliseconds. FTP can take about 2 hours and 19 minutes, whereas FileCatalyst takes about 8.4 seconds. And if you look at LA to Rio, the RTT is about 130 milliseconds. FTP takes 3 hours and 27 minutes. FileCatalyst takes 8.4 seconds. London to Sydney, 300 milliseconds. A 10 gigabyte file, FTP takes 5 hours and 50 minutes, whereas FileCatalyst takes 8.4 seconds. So even from a long distance transfer from all the way from London to Sydney, we can transfer, a 10 gigabyte file and a 10 gigabit connection in 8.4 seconds. So at this point, I'll welcome back Aurélien to talk about the integration use cases and how FileCatalyst can be used within Woody. Aurélien, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Elton. We have decided to partner with FileCatalyst because it came from our customer that several use cases could require transfer acceleration, and the combination of our solutions and FileCatalyst solutions can be really relevant for some use cases. The first one, of course, is remote ingest to central facility from a local office or from the field if you are a freelance reporter. This is the use case we will see more in details later. Transcode and transfer to distant playout sites. If you have, as it happens more and more, the playout outsourced on a different side, you might need the transfer content from your production environment to your playout environment. Of course, it's large files in this case. And another use case is a cloud archiving workflow, archive content from your production environment to any archiving system located on another site. There are many other use cases, many other combinations that we can imagine. Of course, if you have other use cases, just ask us, and we will tell you what we can do for you with our solutions. We will look at the first one more in detail because I'm sure it can be interesting for most of you guys. It's about remote ingest. So you can have local offices or field reporters and a distant production facility with, let's say, an Avid Interplay production system and Avid storage in place. And the local offices or field reporters need to transmit either raw material or edited stories to the post-production facility, of course, including media, but also metadata to be transferred. I will show you how it works, and I think it will be better than the drawing. So, Elton, if we can start a demo, thank you.
Yeah, so, great. We can see your screen. So good.
Thank you, Elton. So here on my laptop in Zurich, I have Woody Intuit installed. We'll get back here in a second. And in Azure, we have, in the cloud, we have one FileCatalyst server and one Interplay production server. For your information, these two virtual machines are hosted on the East Coast of the US by Microsoft Azure. Woody Intuit is our tool for camera card ingest, but it's doing way more than just camera card ingest. Here in this web user interface, I can, as a journalist or as an editor or as a technical operator, I can load any kind of video, audio, images, files to prepare them for ingest. I can either put a card, P2 card or SBIOS card in a card reader, or I can just browse my file system or network drive or an external drive to locate all the media files and the media structures I have. I can even scan my system to identify all the media structure known by Woody Intuit. Here you can see that we identify P2, XD-Cam, Canon footage, of course, but also we have here 5D, we have GoPro cards, or just folders containing audio files, photo files, or any single media file. So we can load several of these folders and cards in the user interface in the same time. The idea of Woody Intuit is to be the one-stop shop for all manual ingest tasks. So any kind of media you want to ingest, you can load it and you can ingest it with the exact same workflow, which is really important. Once the clip will be loaded in the Woody Intuit user interface, I will show you that we have a lot of features, but first, be aware that this user interface can really be customized to your needs, depending on the kind of user you have in front of the computer. We have designed Woody Intuit to be used especially by non-technician users. So journalists can use it. There is you can hide all technical informations if you want, or if you have technical operators, you can show more and display more information about what you are preparing. Of course, you can preview the clips here. In the user interface, you can create sub-clips for partial ingest if you want to just ingest a portion of a clip. And you can see all the metadata about the clips. Now comes the selection part. Before selecting the clips for ingest, we have to choose a profile. You can have different profiles if you are dealing with different workflows or if you have different target environments to address. Here are the sample profiles we have configured for the demo, but of course you can totally customize your profiles. I will here choose Avid Interplay via FileCatalyst profile, and I will show you right after this profile. It's containing all the technical information about the target format, the target destination, and so on. Let's have a look. Here is the profiles configuration page of Woody Intuit. I will not detail everything here because we have a lot of features, but what you can see here is that we have transcoding rules. So we can decide for each source format or for each kind of media coming in the pipeline, what is the expected target format. Of course, we have options on audio, on resizing. We can stitch the clips together during the ingest. We have all the delivery settings for the media and the metadata. And here we have the metadata field that you want to display in your user interface. Here comes a very important feature of Woody Intuit. I will go to my Interplay via FileCatalyst profile. It's the custom mandatory field. You can ask the user and you can force them to give a minimum set of metadata before doing the ingest. What we want here is to avoid non-identified content in the production environment. We also can use this metadata for naming rules, grouping rules, subfolder creation rules, and for notifications. As you can see, there are a lot of technical settings here, but if we are back to the user interface, we just have preview, selection of the clips, and here we have the mandatory fields that are circled red to say the user that he has to put something here. And if he doesn't, the ingest will not start. So here we have been asked to say for which show this footage is and what is the story. Cuba Travelers, let's say. And you can see in the name column that the 4 clips I've selected have been dynamically renamed based on the metadata, which means you will have something really clear in the target system. And especially if the target system is on another side, it's important to have something well indexed. I will just click ingest now. What will happen is that each clip will be analyzed against the profile, and Woody Intuit will decide if a transcoding is required or if the clip can only be rewrapped. And of course, all this processing is handled by the Woody engine. Oh, we have a mistake here, a failure here. It's the demo effect. Sorry for that. I think I have an idea where it comes from. Yes, it's about the FileCatalyst transfer agent. Sorry for that. Once the clip has been transcoded or rewrapped, he will be transferred over the FileCatalyst protocol to the distant FileCatalyst server. Now, if we switch to the monitoring of what's happening on our FileCatalyst server. So this is the FileCatalyst server admin page that lets me monitor what's happening. We can see that the transfer of the first clip has started, and this clip is currently being transferred to our FileCatalyst server. Each clip will be transferred, and you can see here that the 10 megabits allowed by my license are well used by the transfer technology. Let me now go to my cloud environment on Azure. So we have here Woody Ingest installed on this FileCatalyst server, and we have an Interplay production server running on another virtual machine, and I can see what is in this Interplay system through Avid Interplay Access, which is the media management tool from Avid for Interplay. Here you can see that we have an incoming media folder, and inside this folder we have a correspondence folder. And for now, there is nothing in this folder. Let's have a look now at Woody Ingest, which is combined with Woody Intuit and FileCatalyst in this workflow. In Woody Ingest, we can see that the clips already transferred has been detected with their proper name. And again, it has been analyzed against an ingest profile. So here we have defined an ingest profile saying that everything should be transcoded to XDCAM HD50, except for other supported format that can be only rewrapped. In my case, I was transferring H.264 file for faster transfer, so it has been transcoded to XDCAM HD50, and it has been delivered on the Avid storage and on Avid Interplay production, and now another clip is coming. If we have a look now at Avid Interplay Access, we can see that in that correspondent folder, we have a new folder being created with the date. And we now, inside this one, have another folder created with my name. It's all based on the metadata that you are available in the Woody profiles, and we can dynamically create folder trees based on this metadata. And of course, in this Aurélien folder, we can find our Cuba Travelers clip. Of course, it's offline now because we are not working in a real ISIS or Nexus environment. This is to show you that from here in Zurich, I have sent content to my virtual machine running on the East Coast with very few clicks for the user. And what comes in the target Interplay system is well named and well organized. And all of this has been automatic with no other manual task than preparing and starting the ingest. Of course, we have retry options if we want, because the first clip failed. So that was what I wanted to show you today, how we can combine a tool, Woody Intuit, designed for any user that can support hundreds of source formats with FileCatalyst transfer technology and Woody Ingest automated workflows to ingest content end-to-end from the field to a distant site or a remote facility. End of the demo. Elton?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think so that whole the first file failing was part of the the whole intention of the demo, so you could show the retry feature, which is really cool, by the way.
Yes.
So yeah, let me go to let's continue the thing. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so you guys should be able to see the screen. So yeah, Aurélien, continue.
Yes, that was the first use case. You can move forward to the next slide. The other use case I wanted to tell you about, and I will not make the demo, but I can easily discuss that with you if it's interesting to you, is about the Outgest process from the post-production environment to a distant system that can be a playout facility, that can be an archive system, or why not web publishing, CDN, anything. So we have Woody Outgest, which is a tool designed to manage all the transfers from Avid environment to external systems. Woody Ingest will detect sequences, clips, or subclips in Avid Interplay production environment. It can gather metadata, editorial metadata from Avid iNews, and it can handle this media and metadata and transfer it through the FileCatalyst technology to a distant site. Woody Ingest is also able to use Avid Interplay transcode capabilities for complex sequences rendering, and it's also coming with some built-in transcode capabilities to deliver various target formats. It can extract all the metadata you have in your Interplay environment, including system attributes, custom attributes, Avid locators, and of course now all the iNews metadata. So it's a very, very easy way based on watch folders or driven by API, very easy way to transfer content from your Avid environment to target systems. That's the second use case. We can, of course, combine all the tools from Woody and the solutions from FileCatalyst. There is also FileCatalyst workflow that allow us to do more. What I have not mentioned before is all the notifications we have in all Woody products. So mail notification, file notification, or HTTP calls to third-party systems, which makes possible to build very complex and integrated workflows. Of course, there are a lot of benefits in these integrations. The first one is that you get highly automated workflows with very few manual tasks. We handle both media and metadata handling is a very important topic to us. You have everything monitored on the same user interface, which is very important as we integrate with FileCatalyst with the Transfer Agent API. And you have at the end a very cost-effective solution, and working on different sites is not an issue when you combine all these solutions. The integration with FileCatalyst protocol is now available in Woody Intuit, Woody Ingest, and Woody Outgest. And as I said before, we do a lot of customization. So if you have specific needs that require transcoding, ingest, outgest, and file transfer technologies, just ask us, and Elton and I will be really happy to help you. How to get the integration? I think I've almost all said. Just adding that there is no additional license on Woody side to use a FileCatalyst protocol. It's available as a standard delivery protocol for all the products I mentioned. So there is no additional cost for the customers to use Woody and FileCatalyst combined.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So from the FileCatalyst side, I should have covered this early on. We have three products: FileCatalyst Direct, which is a flagship point-to-point file transfer platform, and then we have our FileCatalyst Workflow, which is a web-based application that allows you to ingest and deliver files via an email address. And then we have our web-based monitoring tool called Central that allows you to get a bird's-eye view of your entire deployment. In terms of the integration within Woody, it's our FileCatalyst Direct that's been integrated. The FileCatalyst Transfer Agent is part of the FileCatalyst Direct suite. It's a client application. There is no fee to download the client application. We offer you unlimited distribution. When requesting a license to use within Woody, make sure you let your salesperson to know that you need an integration flag enabled on the license key so that this integration works for you. One of the, as part of the demo that Aurélien did was showing you how you can move clips and, sub clips from your, Woody installation. So from, Woody Ingest all the way to, Azure. You can also, FileCatalyst has support to read and write to object storage, to Azure Blob. So if you need to archive some of this footage, you may not need it today or tomorrow, but at some point in the future, you may, want some of this footage and reuse some of this footage, you can still use the same technology and have FileCatalyst write it straight into your blob storage. Cool. So time has come for questions. If you look onto your GoToWebinar panel, there's a questions section. So go ahead. If you have any questions for us, type them in, and I'll read them out loud so the entire audience can hear the question, as well as depending on the question, either I'll answer it or Aurélien will answer it. Cool. Yeah, looks like we have some questions coming in already. So the first one, can Woody Intuit send to multiple destinations simultaneously? That is a local editing system and remote facility, or two different file catalyst servers?
The answer is yes. We have multi-target mode in Woody Intuit that can be useful for many purposes. You can have two different environments. You can have a local Avid environment, editing environment, and the target site where you want to send to. So we can, with one action from the guy in front of the software, we can transcode and send to both local and distant sites, or to two different distant sites. And yes, it's something that's possible with Woody Intuit.
Cool, thanks for that. And I'm guessing with the new platform that Avid has released, I believe they released this last year, the Central UX. Is Woody integrated within Avid Media Central at all?
Yes, we have shown this integration for the first time at IBC, at last IBC. We have made an integration of Woody Intuit inside Avid Media Central, which is allowing users to prepare and trigger ingest tasks directly in Media Central UX environment. So it's a very good added value, because users have only one user interface to work with, and they can prepare and start ingest tasks.
Great. No, that's really cool. Let's see if there's any more questions coming in. Yeah. There's another one that's come in. Yeah, so this one is for me. How is FileCatalyst licensed by bandwidth side? Yes, so FileCatalyst has different licensing options. We have a perpetual on-premise license that is, licensed based on how much bandwidth you want to consume. FileCatalyst is also available now on the AWS Marketplace, so you can spin up an instance and pay by the hour. We are launching new licensing models for different workflows. Consumption by gigabyte is one of the hot licensing models that we will be releasing in the next month. So if you need more information on that, by all means, reach out to us and we can share this information with you. There's another question coming in. Do you have any workflows for moving content between two Interplay PAM sites?
It's
Go ahead.
Yes, it's coming, and the funny point is that the first integration will be combining FileCatalyst, because the two FileCatalyst and Woody Outgest, because the two interplay systems are very far away one from each other. So yes, we are working on this for a while now. To be able to get a sequence with all the media related to this sequence from one interplay system, and consolidate the media file and transfer the sequence with all the consolidated media to the target interplay system. So it's not released yet, but it will come in the coming 2 months.
Yeah, and on that note, FileCatalyst also has an integration within Interplay Delivery. So if you have Interplay Delivery enabled on your PAM, you can invoke the Interplay Delivery APIs that call the FileCatalyst solution to transfer that file with at full line speed between your two sites. It looks like we have another question coming in. Are Woody solutions hardware agnostic? This one's for you,
Yes,
Arun.
fully agnostic. We do not provide hardware. We are a software vendor, and we have customers running our products on very different hardwares, HP, Dell, laptops, depending on the product. So we are totally agnostic from the hardware. Of course, we provide recommendation on the hardware configuration, and we have documentation on that, and some benchmarks too. But we are agnostic from the hardware.
And what about the operating system? I'm guessing Windows.
Yes, we are Windows based.
Cool. Um, so let me see if there's any more questions coming in. Yep, yep. There's one more coming in. how does Intuit work as a standalone app or client-server model?
Until now, it was working only in a standalone mode, but we are off. So the transcoding and rewrapping tasks were done on the local machine, but we have started with the Media Central integration, and we are continuing this way to offer new architectures, to have a client-server based architecture, and to be able to delegate the media processing to the server when the client just is just used to trigger tasks.
Cool. Let me see. Yeah, there's another one. How can AWS hourly license version integrate with other apps? So that's a great question. So running FileCatalyst in AWS by the hour it's pretty much the same way as running it on premise or running it, anyone on any of the cloud. The only thing is that opposed to coming to us for a license key, it's built into the VM for you. So as soon as you spin it up, it's licensed. The same functionality, same feature sets that you would get from a FileCatalyst server on premise is available, to you in the cloud. In terms of integration, depending on what you're looking to do, whether it's bringing content in, pushing content out, using that server as intermediary server, it's all possible. And again, if you can contact us with specific workflow questions, we can definitely help you on a one-to-one basis. Cool. And yeah, all the information on the pricing on the hourly stuff is all on Amazon's marketplace. So it's all based on region as well as instance size. So if you go to the AWS marketplace and look up FileCatalyst, you should see by the hour billing. So click on that, choose your region, and choose your instance size, and you get all the pricing that you need. At this point, I think so. We're going to come to the end of the webinar. Aurélien, thank you very much. For more information, you can contact Woody Technologies at sales@woody-technologies.com. Their website is www.woody-technologies.com. And again, from the FileCatalyst side, feel free to visit our website, www.filecatalyst.com, or you can reach out to the technology partner group at techpartners@filecatalyst.com. If you have any sales questions, you can reach out to sales@filecatalyst.com as well. Aurélien, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Elton. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And if you have, any question on the products, on the company, or on the workflow you would like to improve, just ask us, and there is probably something we can do for you.
Great. So you enjoyed the Zurich great weather, and we'll continue to freeze over here in our Ottawa cold. Other than that, thank you to all the attendees who took the time in the day to joining us. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you may be. Cheers. Take care, guys.
Goodbye.